This PowerPoint is about human instincts during a zombie apocalypse. Maslow's hierarchy of needs chart shows what humans need during a survival. Maslow's chart is a good example of what people need during some kind of crisis. If a human doesn't get the basic needs off this chart, it could sometimes cause them to go insane or die. A zombie apocalypse is a perfect crisis because there are always some type of dangers or drama going on between people, or if you're an individual. The first person I'm reviewing is Steve, and I'm going to compare him to Maslow's chart. Steve can obtain food and water, which would make him psychologically safe. Steve does not have any family or anybody to care for, which would put him in a hard position. He does have Santa and Nick, but it's not people he loves and cares for. Steve's only self-esteem is moving on and living. If he had other things, such as loved ones to care for and people to take care of, it would make it a lot easier for him to want to push on and see those people live too. He has no self-actualization, which is creativity or something to keep him busy or keep him wanting to push forward. Steve would lack in many positions of the chart, which would make it so he doesn't live very long. The second person I'm reviewing is Santa and how he relates to Maslow's chart. Santa is able to get a hold of food and water just as Steve did. The only problem with Santa is he had lost loved ones in the past, which would put him in a tough place because now he has nobody else other than Nick and Steve. The only thing that keeps him motivated is seeing everybody be happy, because after his family died, he wanted to bring joy to everybody even though there was a zombie apocalypse. So Santa now has some self-esteem that wants to keep him pushing on. Santa will have a hard time going through the zombie apocalypse, but being able to bring joy to people will keep him pushing on. The last person I'm reviewing would be Nick, and how he relates to Maslow's chart. Nick has access to food and water just as Santa and Steve do. Nick will have probably a tough time surviving because he went from having everything in the world he wanted to having nothing. This will lower his self-esteem because he doesn't have the money he did before, cars, fame, everything. He used to have many women that he loved and cared for, and now that there's no one that he loves and cares for, it'll put him in a tough place. Nick is a very scared person overall because before he could get anything he wanted with his money, and now he can't use his money. Mentally, Nick won't be able to keep up with the others because he has had so much and lost so much. I'm going to explain how everybody in the end died. Nick died in the end because he didn't have any of the motivation to fight anymore because it wasn't worth living if he didn't have his money and fame. Santa would die because he just wants to see people live. He was distracting the zombies to keep Steve alive. Steve would die because he wasn't able to run fast enough from the explosion. Overall, Santa would have lived the longest, but he wanted to see everybody live instead of him because he wanted to bring joy to people.